My name is Jenna Wallace. I'm 35, a freelance interior designer from Austin, Texas. If you asked anyone who knew me, they'd tell you I've always been forgiving type, the benefit of the doubt kind of woman. I believed in second chances, honest mistakes, and trusting the person you chose to build a life with. I used to think that love, at its core, was about believing someone when they told you they loved you back. But everything changed the day as Selfie shattered that belief. My husband, Damon, was 38, an executive at a tech startup that had taken off during the pandemic. Tall, charismatic, always on the move, he lived with his phone practically glued to his palm. Damon had charm for days and a confidence that made people naturally follow his lead. When we met, I was a quiet artist renting a small studio downtown, and he was a guy who swept in like a hurricane, full of ideas and ambition. He proposed after 8 months. Said he couldn't wait any longer. For a while, everything felt like a dream. The kind of whirlwind romance you see in movies, candlelit dinners, spontaneous trips, handwritten notes tucked into my purse. We moved into a house in the suburbs, talked about kids someday, and adopted a golden retriever named Milo in the meantime. But lately, something had shifted. It started small. Work trips got longer. Text replies got shorter. The energy between us grew tense, like something invisible was wedged between our bodies at night. I brushed it off at first. Startups were stressful, and Damon was under pressure. He'd always been a workaholic, and I admired his drive. But when he said he had to go to San Diego for a last-minute client retreat, something didn't sit right. This one's really important, he told me as he packed. Some big investors are flying in. I'll only be gone 3 days. I kissed him goodbye at the airport, made small talk about him bringing back salt caramels from the local shop I loved, and waved as he disappeared into security. The first day was quiet. I sent him a good luck text around noon. No reply. The second day, I got a voice note at 10 p.m. Hey, babe, long day, back-to-back meetings. I'm exhausted. I'll call you in the morning. But the morning came, and there was no call. And then came the third day. The day that burned itself into my memory. I was scrolling Instagram while sipping coffee in the kitchen, trying to ignore the pit growing in my stomach. I tapped through stories, one after another, until I landed on a mutual acquaintance, Lauren, an overly energetic, overly filtered marketing rep Damon had introduced me to at a company party months ago. She'd always rubbed me the wrong way, but I couldn't say why. Her story caught my eye. It was a boomerang. 2 champagne glasses clinking together on a rooftop bar. I tapped again. And then there it was, a selfie, hers and Damon's. Smiling. Close. Her head tilted toward him like they were posing for a couple's photo. His arm was around her waist. In the background, the San Diego skyline at sunset. My heart dropped. It wasn't a group dinner. There weren't 10 co-workers in sight. It was just the 2 of them, and they looked comfortable. Too comfortable. I stared at the screen, blinking hard, trying to convince myself there was an explanation. Maybe it was innocent. Maybe he ran into her and someone else took the photo. Maybe no. No, my gut knew better. I took a screenshot. Then I waited. Damon texted me that evening. A photo of a hotel lobby. Heading to dinner with the team, he wrote. I replied, Team? Who's on the team? Lauren. No answer. So I sent a screenshot. Still nothing. 3 hours passed. Then, finally, he called. His voice was low, quiet, as if he was preparing for battle. Jenna, I can explain. I laughed. Laughed like someone who had just watched their whole world crumble. Then do it. Explain why my husband is posing for cozy selfies on a rooftop with someone who's not his wife. There was a pause. It's not what it looks like. Don't insult my intelligence. He sighed. We've been working closely for months. One thing led to another. I didn't mean for it to happen. I hung up. I needed air. I needed clarity. I needed to feel something other than this mix of betrayal, fury, and disbelief. Milo followed me around the house, sensing something was wrong. And when I finally collapsed on the couch in a flood of silent tears, he rested his head on my knee like a little guardian angel. Over the next few days, the truth came out in ugly, scattered pieces. Damon had been seeing Lauren for 3 months. It had started after a company offsite, progressed into late-night texts, and then, surprise, business trips. I wanted to scream, break things, undo time. But more than anything, I wanted to understand why. Why do people who claim to love you look you in the eye and lie? His answer? I didn't think you'd find out. Not, I made a mistake. Not, I was confused. Just, I didn't think you'd find out. That told me everything I needed to know. I kicked him out of the house the next day. Filed for separation a week later. The gossip around his office eventually reached me. Apparently, Lauren accidentally posted a selfie to her main story instead of close friends. And just like that, their little secret went public. It was all I needed. Months have passed now. I renovated the house, painted the bedroom walls, changed the furniture, bought a king-size bed just for me. The silence isn't painful anymore. It's peaceful. I walk Milo around the lake near our neighborhood every evening, and when the sun hits the water just right, it reminds me. Endings can be beautiful too. I still believe in love. I just believe in loving myself more now. And if I've learned anything, it's this. Trust is built in silence, but it shatters with a single photo. After Damon moved out, the silence was deafening at first. Every corner of the house reminded me of the life we were supposed to build. The someday dreams we never reached. But little by little, I began to reclaim it all. Not just a physical space, but my sense of peace, my independence, my worth. I stopped checking his social media, blocked Lauren's account. I deleted the screenshot from my phone. Not because I forgave them, but because I refused to let that moment define me. Grief comes in waves, but so does growth. One day, I walked into a new cafe down the street just to get out of the house. The barista complimented my scarf. A man in line smiled and asked about my dog. And just like that, I realized life was moving on, and so was I. I don't know where Damon is now. Maybe he's still with Lauren. Maybe he's not. I no longer care. What I do know is this. I survived something that once felt impossible. And I came out wiser, stronger, and more certain of who I am. So here's the truth, the painful, undeniable, liberating truth. He said it was a work trip. But one selfie told me everything I needed to know. And now, I'm finally free.